Hello, 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 Mosaic Souls. Hey Mosaic Souls, this is Rachael Alexander, artist and Mosaic Soul mentor. And today I wanted to talk about how to stop caring what other people think about you. I was going to title it a more vulgar way of saying it, but to keep this PG-13 and be helpful for the youngsters as well. I just want to talk about how to stop caring about what other people think about you and why that's important. So the first thing is, the first step into stop caring about what other people think about you is you have to end the war with yourself. And what I mean by that is that a lot of times the only reason that you can actually care about what other people think about you and it to be a detrimental to your own lifestyle is that you haven't come into grips or you haven't come to embrace all the different aspects of yourself. One of the reasons why I love the term Mosaic Soul or Mosaic is because we have many different facets to ourselves. So not even just the things that we do or are capable of doing with our talents and our gifts, but also as a human, we have so many different facets, the darkness and the light and the different aspects of all of our human character. And when you understand that you're a soul having this human experience, you start to become more grounded and you start to become more, at least in my experience, I can only speak from my experience, you start to embrace more of your human characteristics. You start to embrace more of your human journey and all of the different facets of it. So your dark, your light, the different parts of you that might seem taboo in the world and stuff. And when we don't embrace those pieces of ourselves, when we reject pieces of ourselves in the world, we have a tendency to look outside of ourselves for validation. And so that's where that piece of starting to come and starting to care what other people think about you, starting to worry, oh, will this person like me? Oh, I don't know, am I doing this right? And it's not in a way of trying to say that you should be like, F everybody, like it's not about that, but it's about being comfortable in your own skin, because you're still having this human experience. And so for me, my belief is that the only reason why we came here is to be ourselves. The only reason why we came here is to be the greatest, not even the greatest version, is to really just be ourselves and be an expression of the divine, to be your unique expression. Like I came here to be the Rachael expression in all of its facets, right? And so when you start to embrace that, it's so much easier to let go of what other people think about you, because it's like, oh, I'm just here to be me. I'm just here to do me, So the biggest piece and step of this is to end the war with yourself, to start to, I would encourage you to start doing some self-care, some self-love, self-reflection, and really coming into contact and harmony with the different aspects of yourself and meeting them face to face. And the only way that you can really do that is to really start to come into contact and meeting with the dark aspects of you that you might not be appreciative of or accepting of, and come into acceptance. Because when you start to accept all the pieces of you, the mosaic pieces of you, then you can become in harmony, and then your need to seek validation outside of yourself is that much more less. And then the second piece to this is to understand that everybody is on the planet doing them. Everybody is on the planet here to do them. So you can't control what other people are here to do. Everybody is literally on the planet to be themselves, right? So they're gonna have their own belief systems, they're gonna have their own opinions, they're gonna have their own journey that they're here to have. And so when you are in a place of trying to seek validation from others, seeking approval from others, what you're realizing is that you're putting yourself at effect to other people's belief systems, to other people's crap, to other people's junk that they haven't dealt with, to other people's aspects of their own character that they haven't come into harmony or acceptance of. And so it becomes this thing where you just kind of on a ping pong table and you're going back and forth because you haven't come into resolve with yourself. So you can't control what other people think about you. You can't control what other people feel about you, nor should you try. You should always just be your most authentic self. You should always just show up and be the best version of yourself that you can be. And that really is just to be your authentic self and come into harmony with who and what you really are, which is this soul having this human experience, and embrace all the different aspects of yourself. So you can't, the second piece of this is that you can't control what other people think. You can't control other people's belief systems or other things. You definitely can't influence them, but I wouldn't even suggest trying to go down that route because it can be a never-ending battle. I think the easiest route to stop caring what other people think about you is just to learn to be yourself and embrace all of you. And then I would say the third piece of this is not just understanding that you can't control what other people think about you, but in the aspect of knowing that you are a divine being. And this kind of goes back to that point, number one, of ending the war with yourself, but understanding you. I invite you to look at your belief system and to start to understand who you really are. Find out who you really are. My belief system and why it works for me is that I know that I'm a divine being. I know that I'm human and divine, you know, and that my humanness is divine. There's nothing not divine about the human experience. I'm also a soul, which is way bigger than this like little human experience, and it's still beautiful. I don't minimize my human experience because that's why I came here, but I'm also still aware of my infiniteness, you know. And so when you start to become more aware and start to identify with more of who you really are, the need for approval of others is just like, why? It's just so obsolete. It's nonsensical almost. It's like, why would I do anything for anyone else's approval? The only reason why I'm here is to be myself. And so it seems kind of selfish, or it seems kind of self-serving, but what actually ends up happening is that the more that you are yourself is the more that other people actually benefit. It's actually very counterintuitive. It's a very counterintuitive process, but it's like the more you are yourself, your genuine, authentic soul, human self, it's actually the more that other people benefit from that, because we need more authenticity, we need more honesty, we need more tact, and we need more love and compassion in the world. And when you start to embody all these different aspects of yourself and come into harmony with the darker aspects of your character, what people call your dark aspects or whatever, it's all these labels that we have, but you start to be a more balanced person, a more harmonious person. And so there's no need to bend over backwards or camouflage yourself or try to fit into certain circumstances, you know what I mean? And I was watching this Disney movie. I think it was a Indian Disney movie, a Bollywood Disney movie, and it was and the main character, I just shared this, the main character was very funny because she was totally herself while everyone else was kind of wearing this facade, and so she really disturbed people's patterns. But it was really funny because by her being herself, she liberated everybody else to start being more of themselves, their true authentic selves. And they started having more fun, more joy, more laughter, you know, just more love and compassion towards each other. And it's just so much, it's so funny when you realize that when you step into who you truly are, when you do that, you are liberating others to do the same thing. That's why we connect so deeply with you know, movies or videos or people who are just themselves, right? Because there's so much, we want freedom. Freedom is something that we all desire, and the freedom that we really desire is the freedom to be who we came here to be, you know? And we have so much conditioning and layers and belief systems that block that. But when we start to peel back the layers, the freedom to be who we really are starts to emerge even more easier. So I hope that these tips have been helpful, and I just kind of want to recap that the first one is that how to stop caring about what other people think is to end the war with yourself. The second one is to realize that you can't control what other people think about you. You can't control their belief systems, nor should you try. And then the third one is to remember who you are, research and do soul search and really come into harmony with who you really are. Because when you step into who you really are, then it's easier to let go of needing that outside validation, of needing that outside approval from others. So I hope this video has been helpful. If it has, definitely give it a thumbs up, share it, and with someone who might be struggling with this in their lives, and who could use some of these tips to help better let go of the weight and to just invite more freedom and authenticity in their own lives. I will check you guys out soon, and peace, love, and light.